welcome back to Strayatrains. In this video we take a look at the ins and the outs of the Cranbourne Line. Hope you enjoy the video. Let's get straight into it with a quick overview. The Cranbourne Line is served by Metro's high capacity Metro Trains fleet. The line code is CBE. It is a total of 24 stations long and just 3 lie on the Cranbourne Line exclusively. It serves Melbourne's southeastern suburbs as part of the Dandenong Group, given the light colour blue on our railways map, and service terminations include Westall, Dandenong and Cranbourne. For service alterations, stations such as Caulfield and Oakley can be used as a termination. Now time for some service notes. All Cranbourne trains run in an anti-clockwise manner through the city loop through the entirety of the week. That means they run from Richmond to Parliament Station, utilise platforms 2 in the city loop as part of the Caulfield loop, then Southern Cross platform 12 typically, and then when it comes to Flinders Street, generally platform 6 and 7, but sometimes you get the rare use of platforms 8 and 9. Other platforms have been used before HMT takeover on the line, but I believe only 6, 7, 8 and 9 have been used since. As for service patterns, throughout daytime, Cranbourne trains either run express from South Yarra to Caulfield or South Yarra to Malvern. There are very few exceptions, such as the 7:33 Cranbourne service in the morning that stops all to South Yarra, runs express from South Yarra to Caulfield, Caulfield to Oakley, Oakley to Clayton, then stops all to Cranbourne. Later on in the video we'll take a look at the Dandenong to Cranbourne shuttle service as well. In terms of service frequency, Cranbourne trains operate at an off-peak frequency of every 20 minutes, but that is 10 minutes to Dandenong as the alternating train goes to Pakenham. During the peak at roughly every 7 to 12 minutes, during night times every 30 minutes. But it is important that if you are at Flinders Street after the 9:28pm Cranbourne or on Sundays after the 6:41pm Cranbourne, you'll need to take the next Pakenham train to Dandenong and then change at Dandenong for a shuttle service that operates between Dandenong and Cranbourne that departs a couple minutes after the Pakenham train does. Let's take a look at that now.
Your next service to departing platform 6 will be the 12:58 ferry, stopping all stations for South Yarra, running express from South Yarra to Caulfield, then stopping all stations to Derry. Customers from Cranbourne are invited to board the train and change at Sandown.
Back to service frequencies. On the weekend, similar to weekdays, Cranbourne trains operate at a 20-minute frequency, and then 10 minutes to Dandenong. And then during night network, Cranbourne trains operate at a 60-minute frequency, but of course through the entirety of the night network, you must take a Pakenham train to Dandenong and then change there for your Cranbourne connection. Now time for some travel tips, and the first one is going on what we've just talked about before, that if you are at Flinders Street past 9:28pm or anywhere in the city past around that time, with the exception of 6:41pm on Sundays and public holidays, it's important to know that Cranbourne trains should be running as long as there is no planned works. So make sure that if there are no Cranbourne services, just take that next Pakenham train to Dandenong, as your Cranbourne connection will be awaiting. And talking about planned works ahead, that's my number 2 tip. Check for planned works. It is very common for service alterations due to all the upgrades and project works on the Pakenham and Cranbourne lines, especially on the Dandenong corridor or near South Yarra where the Metro Tunnel entrance is being built. The most common is generally from about 8:30pm on weeknights or through the entirety of a particular weekends. So make sure if you are travelling on that line to just take a look and check if there are works. And number 3, if you see a high capacity metro train with red stickers on the windows, it is a test train, so do not board. You won't be led on, and if you stand too close to the train will not depart the station, which will cause some delays. So just keep a lookout for that and don't get confused. And let's conclude with some future plans / ideas. Well, in terms of the Cranbourne line, a lot of works are being done. It will be level crossing free by the end of the decade. We'll utilise the Metro Tunnel, and the Cranbourne duplication project has been completed. So there isn't really much to say on this front, but I will say one thing, and that is to reinstate the junction points on the down end of Caulfield stations. By ripping up the points at Caulfield, the effective junction between the Pakenham and Cranbourne lines with the Frankston line is at Richmond Junction. Note, passengers can still change at Caulfield, but trains cannot. This means that if there are any delays or works between Richmond and Caulfield, Cranbourne trains cannot run on the Frankston bound tracks to Caulfield and divert there, which in a sense implies that there will be no more high capacity metro trains at either platforms 1 and 2 through the Math stations. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed and learnt a thing or two about the operation of the Cranbourne Line in the latest instalment of the Ins and Outs series. And I think we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching, and cheers.